Hey YouTube, welcome to my channel. I'm Nikki from Genic Fashions, and in this video I will be showing you how I made this dress. If you enjoyed this tutorial and you want to see more like it, don't forget to press like, don't forget to subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss the next one. In order to make my dress, I will be using this pretty pink plaid fabric. Try saying that fast. Right now my fabric is folded in half and I'm going to fold it again. And I'm making sure that it stretches in this direction. So to use as a pattern, I have a regular pencil skirt in my size, as well as just a regular tank top. So in order to use these two things as a pattern, I am going to fold the pencil skirt in half, and I'm going to place the fold of the pencil skirt along the fold of the fabric. Once I have that neatly set on the fabric folded in half, I'm going to do the same for the tank top. Fold it in half and place the fold line of the tank top over the fold line of the fabric. So this is going to be the shape of my dress. I am going to pin along the outside of the shirt and of the skirt, and then I will cut that shape out. Alright, so here we have the left side and the right side of the dress pinned together. So in order to separate those out, I'm going to unpin each pin, pin just the top two layers, and right underneath, pin the bottom two layers. And I am going to do that going all the way up so that I can separate the left from the right. Alright, so here is the dress, and I am going to take this to the sewing machine and sew up the side seams with a zigzag stitch. Alright, so I sewed my side seams up with a zigzag stitch and I overlocked the edges to make it a bit neater. And now I am going to hem the top of the dress. So basically I'm making a tube dress, but I will be adding straps. In order to hem the top, I have my dress inside out, and I'm going to fold the top down once and then again. And I am going to pin. And I'm going to keep doing that all the way around until I have the whole top hem pinned. Alright, now that I've pinned the hem around the top of the dress, I'm going to take that to the sewing machine and sew it with a zigzag stitch. Alright, so this is what my dress looks like so far. And now I am ready to start making the straps. So I'm going to have two wide straps on my dress. So I'm going to fold my fabric inside out, and I'm going to measure a width of 1.75 inches. And I'm going to pin the whole way down and do the same for the other strap. Now that I have these pinned, I'm going to take them to the sewing machine and sew it with a zigzag stitch. So here is my strap, one of my straps all sewn up, and to turn it over, I am going to use a pin. I'm going to pin the end like that, and I'm going to feed the pin in through, and since this is a pretty wide strap, this is actually going to be really easy. I tried on the dress and I pinned the strap in the front, on the left and the right, and in the back as well, and I made sure when I was pinning it on that it had a nice fit and covered my bra straps. I decided to add ruffle to the hem of the dress, and I also actually went ahead and took this to the machine and hemmed the ruffle. So now in order to create that ruffle effect, I am going to hand sew a base stitch at the top of my fabric. And so I'm just going to take the needle and go in and out just to base stitch. And I have a knot at the end of my thread, and I'm just going to keep going in order to gather the fabric. So I finished base stitching my ruffle, and there are three things I want to point out here. So here we have this string right here and this string right here. And those are the strings at the end of the ruffle, and notice I put, you might not be able to see this, but I knot both ends so it won't slide out. And now I can control the ruffle, so I can make it super ruffled in one part and super straight in another. But I'm going to try and get this ruffle as evenly distributed as possible. The other thing I wanted to point out is I have two safety pins here. So right side to right side, just closing up that ruffle. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this to the sewing machine and stitch up to this point, not all the way up because I want to be able to adjust the length of my ruffles, but I also want to attach the left side of the ruffle to the right side of the ruffle, so it's one long thing going all the way around. All right, so I'm going to stitch that and I'll be back. So now I have the back of the dress facing up, and I have the back of the ruffle, which is indicated by the seam that I just created, also facing up. And so I want to make sure that that seam lines up with the middle of the dress. And then I'm just going to move around the ruffles using the base stitch and try and spread everything out as best as I can. I want to make sure that I don't have like one straight piece right here and then one super ruffled piece. I want everything spread out evenly. I'm pretty happy with how the ruffles are spread out now. So once I have that, I'm going to turn this ruffle inside out, and I am going to be pinning the ruffle to the hemline of the dress. So here's what it looks like, all pinned on. And so I'm going to take it to the sewing machine, close the rest of this up now that I have everything positioned, and then sew this on with a zigzag stitch. The ruffles are all added and I love how they came out. Ruffles are actually really forgiving when you think you're not doing them right. It just looks so good. All right, so my last step is just an extra step here that I want to make sure everything is well finished. So I'm going to remove the base stitch that I put in with my seam ripper, and that should be really easy because those stitches are quite large. I didn't do them with the machine, I did them by hand. And so I'm just going to go ahead and take those out. So if you made it to this point in the video, first of all, thank you for sticking with me. My guess is that you might be interested in some fun clothing for the summer that you can make. So go ahead and check out that playlist because I have some really cool things waiting in there for you, including the halter top that I'm wearing right now. So go ahead and check out those tutorials after you enjoy the reveal of this dress.